Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Yeah, indeed, we got the new turn. Apologies to those of you who've been waiting here 3 minutes. If I wasn't lazy, I'd put a timestamp in. But yes, I got the turn from THG what time is it now? 7:49. I got the turn at, let's see. Yeah, 7:15. Sorry, 7:14, and I didn't notice it. But man, I finally got something to do today! I was so bored waiting for the turn. Oh, this is excellent. Absolutely brilliant. So, are you guys ready to see what happens next then in the next exciting chapter of Charmed? Indeed, we have 3 teenage witches. Well, we're not really teenagers, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll get going here in just a second. I think the only issue is it's, yeah, not many people know that we have the turn here. Please don't kill me. How you doing, Bird 80? We're getting going here in just a moment. Okay. Indeed, I am playing Minecraft. Not right now, but I was earlier. Let's go get the actual game up and we'll get going then, shall we? It feels good, man. It feels good. it feels like it's been a long, long time. So it does feel very nice. So who we got in the chat here then? We got AT Parmentier, Pirate Joe. Come on, I can see a few more of you guys in the chat. Say hello and represent. Now then, the turn is 15. Oh god, this is good. Death is coming, are you ready? Oh. You know what, this makes me so just ridiculously excited. Because what could this possibly mean? I mean, we have a very good idea what this could potentially mean. He could be referring to potentially his carriers, at least the ones that we we detected. We've detected some sort of carrier. As to how many, it's potentially 3, potentially 4, but we have a fair idea here. He could be referring to Nanning, and Nanning, he could potentially eject us from the city there. With a fair few casualties, possibly, depends though. We will have a ×2 defensive terrain working for ourselves this turn. It might be a lack of supply, but we'll see about that. We still had a relatively decent amount, not quite as much as we prefer. But this is, let's get into it then, shall we? It's a shame, isn't it? Because I know more people would have liked to have been here. It is very short notice, the actual stream, so I do feel somewhat bad, but not really. So go in here and we'll take a look and see how things are going there. I'm just so excited. Oh, God. I wonder what it could mean. I mean, is he talking about the carriers? Potentially, is he talking about something in Nanning? Is he talking about something else completely different? The 8th of February 1942. Promises to be a very interesting day then, ideally. And we have plenty of, ideas in motion. How you doing, Ben Infinite? Good to have you, my man. Interesting enough for... Now I wonder if that's actually his coast watcher. It looks like he's keeping his submarines in the relatively stable lanes. Well, the stable patrols that we've seen them previously operating in. Looks like they're going to remain in that. Looks like we just saw a submarine at Kandari, actually, in the port there. Right. See a little bit of movement there. I believe those are the cruiser mine layers. South of Copenhagen that we saw down here. Yeah, we are seeing plenty of submarines in the area. Moonlight here is 50%. Ooh, that was nice. Okay, that was quite fortunate for us here. Now, ideally, the submarine here would be punished. That would be quite nice. Well, I mean, this is it. I can't for an instant say that he isn't aware of that. He will be aware of that. Hey, did my caller. I mean, he did see the actual Jake get shot down. So maybe he might think less of it. It's really hard to say. And I don't know what sort of detection level we could, we could have over his carriers. It's going to be really interesting. I don't know how it's going to turn out. He may accelerate his operations that he might have planned in that area. Right. Transmissions, that's interesting. Oh, okay, possible submarine, that makes sense. I mean, this is it. We do not know how long he's been at Wellington, if he's just arrived or whether he's been there longer than we previously thought. Okay, we do have the same submarine out here. Something escapes the detection, unfortunately. I need to get some float planes down here then to run the ASW. Well, to basically just run the ASW out from Kandari and just make it difficult for the submarines out there. We should have the heavy cruiser force return to Shanghai. Yep, here we go. We have a bombardment off the coast of Ambon here. The Yamashiro and Fuso, I do believe. Now they will be heading back to Kopang to then rearm. It would have been very nice if we had the AKE at Namla. But in the future, once we do have more AKEs, it will just be significantly easier for us to just do this sort of thing. We'll enjoy the bombardment here. Yep, there's the Fuso. Now, the good news is Fuso doesn't appear damaged on the animation, which is very important. We've got to bear in mind that she does have some damage. So if we can try and conceal that from him, that would be fantastic. It looks as though she looks fine, which is good news. Hey, done therefore. Not too terribly much. Not too terribly much. We've just seen some submarine attacks, and that's been about it, really. 98 casualties, not bad, not bad. Okay. Obviously not as many as you would imagine, but this is fine. What we'll do here then, indeed fire would show on the animations. Now, it doesn't look like a lot of casualties here, so I wonder if that's due to the fact that we didn't have our reconnaissance go off there. I've not seen a spotter plane. Might have been they both potentially stood down there. But that's fine. Potentially fortifications. I think it's probably detection level on that one there. But it doesn't particularly matter. What we'll do then is we'll head back, rearm, and head out again. But you've got to remind yourself here, guys. Obviously, the casualties inflicted isn't the full damage inflicted. Thank you very much, very diligent. Much appreciated, my man, for that tier 1 subscription. You know what? This is why I have so many hobbies, because you guys allow me to have these hobbies. So I say thank you. Okay, so Sailfish there attempted to actually hit one of our destroyers. Now, Sailfish has been the one we've been really hunting recently. I'm going to be sending some destroyer tenders up to the north over here, as well as some auxiliaries, basically the AGs I think they're referred to. The reason is going to be so we can actually rearm the depth charges out here. We are not on strike anymore. Oh man, that's awesome. When is it that you actually work there, my dude? Thank you very much, Pirate. Much appreciated. Do let me know, guys, if the actual animations are a little bit too large, while the alerts are a little bit too large. I could make them smaller. And the Destroyer Hayate? Yeah, there we go. Okay. A little bit of damage here is always excellent. Alright, that's interesting. That's pretty cool to know. I hope everything goes well there, my dude. Engineer assistant, well done, well done. Okay, so 3 hits then of a submarine. Not very large amounts of damage inflicted there, but it's still damage. Okay, so moving into the AM phase here for air. I don't think we're going to be expected to too terribly much here. I am sending a force to actually deal with these line ships by Busawanga. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? It's a submarine that's not armed with the Mark 14s. The G3s are actually doing very good here today, yeah. Plenty of reported hits there. And that should be very good there. Very good for them, really. They should be gaining experience from that. Allied level bomber, 8 allied ships near Kopang, apparently. We'll see about that one. That might be a misidentification of our own force. Okay, we are seeing allied ships there down to the south, actually. Now, we did actually send... Okay, that's interesting. Let's see here. Whoops. I believe I pressed the wrong button and that actually accelerated things, which is not good. Now, we just had a report there of supposedly carriers, which is something I don't... I found that one confusing. That must be referring to the Kitapatai, or at least the mini Kitapatai, surely. Unless we've seen something, Unless we've seen something of the American carriers. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like the Allied dive bombers. Maybe a British carrier, perhaps. That could be a potential line. Yeah, that could be potentially what we spot there, but we'll see. Okay, here we are, hitting Bitan. Also, we'll take the flak, a few losses. But this is all good. Inevitably, we are draining the supplies of Bitan. Okay. So we do lose the Carrier 30 to flak there. A few hits on the run base. It's all about just basically suppressing them, really. Okay. Tojo's going in. I tell you, I don't think we've ever had the Tojos actually engage. Right. Okay, well. That's a small part of the sweep there. There will be another part of the sweep. Okay, there we go. Well, we still hit the runway, which is okay. I was hoping that he would have actually sent out the P-39s. We are seeing store ships here, which is good to know. I was hoping it might have been something new, but unfortunately probably the same. So he's not playing ball today. I mean, the dive bombers near Celebratory is at New Guinea. They could be like the, what are they, Winnipegs or something like that? We did just have a sweep over Singapore. We had the Tojo sweep, and yeah, there we go. It's the second half of the Ki-43-1Cs. Irritatingly, he hasn't had his own forces in the area this turn. Well, the Ki-43s, they just have the numbers, really. I wish I had more zeros. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about a thing down colour. Right, okay, supposedly there's a report over here. Worthwhile checking out, actually. Bihoro, obviously submarines, I'd imagine. Let's take a look. Okay, now we're spotting things. H6K4 Mavis sighted report Allied light cruiser near Wallis Island. Whereabouts is Wallis Island? Cruiser mine layer. Is this from the... That'll probably be the light cruiser force that we sent out ourselves near Cooktown. Speed unknown. New Makaza detected by Allied level bomber near Makassar. He's got something operating in this area. I'd love to find out where they're operating from. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ah, there he is, yeah, we just spotted the errant Chinese force. It looks like it is actually heading to Chikyang. That's good news then. At least we know where it is now. It doesn't look like there's any other movement I can see at the moment. Right, hitting Wenkao once again. Yeah, so he's going to move into Chikyang. Now, he may not remain there, and even if he does remain there, it's not the end of the world. We still have the ability to use the paratroopers. Though, Chikyang is good, it's not the most essential. Tuyun is actually the better. But who knows, he may not remain in position. But there we go, we can see the flag being used here. He's got a fair number of level bombers in Burma. That seems to be where a few B-17s are. I'd imagine some are down at Fiji, perhaps. Blind renowned reconnaissance of a Denpasar as well. And over the southern end of Java. Right, we are in more reconnaissance of the area now. Okay. Air transportation phase. Okay, submarine once again. I don't think it's going to be the most action-packed turn, really. So it looks like we're moving into the land phase shortly, then sub-escape detection. Who knows, we may yet see something. I think it's going to be one of those turns where we'll see more happening afterwards. Right, we do have reinforcements arriving over here at Sarong now. I love the fact that these things bombard. It's like, okay. But he could have attacked there and it turned the tide. But that's fine. We probably well, we have lost more casualties than we actually had there. He could really cause some havoc. We're concentrated. Well, this is it. He could, but it's one of those things where it's a little bit harder. Well, a little bit easier said than done, really. Not too much there, Born. Not too much. We're just moving into the land phase now. Yep, there we go. 17. I think we'll be able to shock attack this thing next, then if it remains in position. Right, it retreats. When does it retreat to? Yes, to the north. So I think this is clear terrain, so I'll be able to shock attack here then, which is going to be great. 34 casualties, 642 inflicted there. Very nice. That's it, yep. I could have shock attacked this turn, but I'm not too fond of this terrain, so we'll be able to move to the north and shock attack. I think this is a main road, so we should be able to chase them down pretty quickly. Maybe 2-3 days at most. But that's good news then. So you can see here, defender, terrain leaders, morale, experience. But it's good training exercise for these troops over here. Okay. He's going for another shock attack against his second arty. Yeah. Okay. 223 casualties there. 70 inflicted. But that's fine. This is going to reduce the actual AFV... Well, sorry, the actual assault value of his forces here. It's the fact that... I believe he is crossing the river here. He did do better due to the fact that he did have the troops already there. We are suffering from fatigue. You can see here, shock and disruption. Disruption's working against him. But this is fine. The good news is we get to see what he has here. Now, we didn't come off as well this time. Ooh, a shock attack at Nanning. He'll probably kick us out over here, but honest to God, this is still a good thing for us. Even if we lose these men, even if we lost all of them, it doesn't particularly matter. This is still using supply in China, which is very, very good for us. It's going to hurt. We're probably going to be forced out of the area, but we'll see. 559. Yeah, looks like we'll be forced to retreat. And indeed we are. So we have been defeated on our attempt at Nanning, but that's okay. 2,793 casualties. We inflict 487. That's okay. I can deal with that one. Now, the thing is, if he chases us from Nanning down here towards Indochina, he could activate additional reinforcements. But the good news is, this is all of his corps that were over here at Lu Chao, now over here at Nanning. This could be a very important development in the near future. Well, we get a real measure of what he has here then. So the 65th, the 31st, the 66th, the 35th Group Army and the 9th Chinese Base Force. Don't worry about the casualties. As far as I'm concerned, Japanese land casualties really don't mean that much in Asia, per se. At least on the mainland, we can replace them. We're really at no danger of losing our position in China, so I really don't give too much an F. Okay. I'm going to say that's a good turn. I mean, we were kicked out of Nanning, but to be expected, really. I'd hoped that we would have been able to take Nanning, but I think we were faffing about, like, trying to do these reserve moves and stuff like that. We should just been attacking, really. I think sometimes we need to be less about the finesse and more about the direct attack, really. Man, victory points really don't matter. They do and they don't. The thing is, it's like if we're worried about the victory points battle, it's one of those of where we could spend all day going over it, really. I don't think much about the victory points, because at the end of the day, we'd never fight a battle then. What's the saying? You've got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette. There we go. So actually, one of the quieter turns, of course, one of the quieter turns. But we do have some interesting information down here. Okay, so those are the cruiser miner. Now, I had a suggestion. That's interesting, actually. He's heading southwest. And there's only a single unit there. Right, this element of the Kidaptai is spotted. So I actually expected him to move down here. This is interesting. Okay. Definitely one of the quieter turns there. Yeah. I expected it to head... the cruiser miner to head down towards Exmouth, actually, but this is actually making things significantly easier and significantly safer for us to do this. Surprised he's not been hit by torpedo bombers, actually. In all honesty, I could potentially ignore that and just chase these guys down, to be honest. They're not going anywhere fast, so probably chase these guys, but... well, we could do both, actually. Head down here. He'll more than likely be in this hex or this hex, but more than likely this hex tomorrow. So what we could do then is hit them probably during the night and then chase these guys down afterwards then, which would be quite good. Okay, so for those of you who are watching the replay, I shall bid you adieu, and I shall see you in the future episodes. Until next time. There we go. Okay, so let's get this uploaded. Well, I mean, this is it. He's shock attacking with like three cores? I think we knew that was going to happen, but I don't think it really matters that much. Like, of course, it's a few, and this is it. It's, I'm not that concerned, really. I'm not that particularly bothered about it. If anything, I hope it really just makes him more confident. If he's more confident, he's more likely to fall into a trap here, which is what I prefer. I think we're going to be golden. I mean, we'll have to send those mixed brigades back to Indochina to obviously recover there. But if he moves any further, we'll see what we can do there. I'm hoping he's going to be overconfident in this one. Okay, I'm just going to start uploading the actual replay here. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have captured one cow with the industry intact, but I don't think it really matters at this point. We'll just take the city and then deal with it after. Okay, get this uploaded, and we'll be good to go in a second. Relatively quick turn there, really. I think we expected that. Like, we don't have particularly much coming at the moment. But it's interesting that it had the turn name of Death is Coming, so that does make me wonder what he could be referring to. We'll definitely check in just a second here as to the status or potentially position. I don't know, maybe his CV is still in the same place as Wellington. We'll check on the detection level of our submarines around the area, really. We did have something indicating that a carrier had been sighted, which is interesting. Now, our own mini Kiribatai had been spotted, which could account for that. But we'll see there. Okay, just getting this set up. See, this is why I need an assistant. Dun 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 dun. I tell you, while I'm here, then I might as well send the replay over to THG. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So that's going to start to upload. There we go, awesome. Bring the game back up. Okay, what did I miss here? And considering the name of this turn, his CVs, well, potentially so, potentially so. On a side note, do you like that warplan game? It's okay, it's okay. I mean, it's nice and it doesn't take a long time, which is nice. Sometimes it's nice to have a a war game that is just quick and easy. Really, it's not a bad game. Obviously, there's going to be some work done on him, really. But it was nice to be able to talk with one of the developers as well. Like, he saw where the game could be improved as well, which is pretty awesome. Do you know where the Broth, or British, I was going to say, like, Broth Task Force? No, I don't know where the Oxo Task Force is either. Well, I mean, this is a good question, actually. The last time we saw a British carrier was over in these waters. around Java. Okay, still going around the same number of aircraft there. And detection's not as good though. 2 units over here. And then Pasai, he has a very small unit. I could probably take that pretty easily actually. I'm going to look forward to doing that. Would be very nice. We're not seeing anything at the moment over here. Okay. I don't think we're detected over here. We did see allied planes in the area, which is interesting. Right. So we should actually have the fuel arrive. Yeah, the fuel should have arrived over here. And indeed it has, which is excellent. So if that's all here, that's going to begin to unload, which is fantastic. And so it's not a huge amount of fuel, but it's just the beginning there, which is good. We'll have the fuel that's arrived over there. These guys moving out, that's good. I'm just wondering if he could be planning something with them in conjunction. I mean, even if he brought the British carriers, it's a question of... I think he has a second British carrier. I mean, maybe Hermes could be over here somewhere. I mean, that's potentially possible. Yeah, maybe. Depends on the timing, but it's one of those things. If he wants to send the Hermes out here, then sure, that really doesn't matter to me. He could have his second British carrier. I can't remember what turn it arrives, but I think he, in theory, could be at Australia. Maybe around about this area, but I don't think it could be here yet. But if he wants to send them out there, that's fine, as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather him attack down this way. Obviously, when we have the ability to use land-based air power with torpedoes. Okay. So we did do a little bit of the editing here of their patrol patterns. We're not seeing anything at the moment. Yeah, Hermes is still alive as far as I'm concerned. I'm not seeing any detection on any of these submarines over here. Obviously, we did last see them at Wellington. I don't think... I mean, he maybe could have moved out this way, but I still think we would have seen some reports. We'll go through the actual operations reports here. Narkazi... not particularly great there. I don't know, I mean... It's one of those of, even if he has moved out to Wellington undetected, it's a case of, well, where's he gonna go? Because once he starts Nunes, we'll detect him with H6K falls. If he wants to head to Australia, it really doesn't change things that much. It's still going to take him some time to get to Australia if he was to head out from Wellington anyway. Okay. There's a lot made about the British armour. You've got to bear in mind it doesn't really matter that much. It's like they are somewhat more survivable, but the thing is they have a smaller air group. And the thing is, they're just not really... I mean, they're great, but the thing is, I'd take a Lexington any day, you know what I mean? Even over our own carriers, I mean, the Lexingtons are just fantastic. Okay. I doubt he has something like a carrier in the Northern Pacific. Well, I mean, this is it. They are pretty damn good. They're not like the be-all and end-all, because obviously there will be better carriers that do come, but they are pretty damn good. Let's see. Not too much there, Rambalol. We did just get into the actual turn, well, the older phase of the game here. We were kicked out from Nanning with about near 3,000 casualties, unfortunately, as he shot to attack there. I don't know. I think I'd prefer the Lexingtons over the Kargan and Akagi. I don't think I'm qualified to argue. I'm going to say that I prefer the Lexingtons. Okay, so anyway. Going through here then. So we did see this report, which is interesting. 126.45. Now, I did see a light cruiser reported somewhere, actually. Yeah, our planes are better than what's on the legs. That's true. The dive bombs are pretty good, though. I mean, that 1,000-pound bomb is just exceptional. Still, at this stage, we are better off with the torpedoes, really. Okay, so he's definitely running the reconnaissance over here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything around Wellington at the moment. The good news is I can actually stand down the MKB aircraft, have them recover some of that fatigue there. I'm not seeing anything at this moment in time, then. So, I don't know. And there we go, taking 862 replacements, which is interesting actually, because I don't think I actually gave them permission to do that. But we do have a fair few of zeros in the pool. So, I think I-17 could have potentially picked up on carriers if they were in the area. I mean, Evelyn's running no naval search, but I doubt that one. Weather around New Zealand, sorry. Have I got the weather on? Yeah, wow. Yeah, looks like clear weather around New Zealand as well, actually. Some partial clouds, but light rain over here. So the weather around New Zealand, yeah, clear skies by I-17 then. So pretty good weather there. I don't know, actually. It's one of these... I don't know, I don't think he's moved out yet. Yeah, the Lexington carries 90 aircraft in game. Obviously, she wasn't able to have all 90 aircraft, as you can imagine, launched out for combat, but it's the fact that she had the replenishment ability. Yeah, that park, and I can imagine, obviously, lashing them to the beams in the main hangar. Right, we do spot a ship over here, actually. Right, he has good detection over this area. Very good detection, actually. I would like to get a force into Buna after the division marches out. Right, 4,620 troops. The fact that there's a ship spotted over here is interesting. Yeah, I saw that brass monkey, pretty awesome, right? Okay. So we dropped detection over there. Ah. Wallace Island. Now that's interesting. So, was that the light cruiser that was actually spotted there during the replay? I wish you could see everything you saw in the replay, i.e. all the messages that were down here. For some reason it doesn't like showing you them. Okay, they remain to be loaded. So what hex are we looking at there for Wallace Island? That is 142, 156. That's interesting, though. I think that's got to be some sort of warship. Unless he's... no. I mean, he could build up an airfield there. If we was to build up an airfield there, that'd be fantastic for us, actually. We'd capture that. Wallace Island. Right. Let's see. This is... 142, 156. 142, 156. Not too particularly much bad loss. Not too particularly much. It's been a fairly quiet turn. I'm uploading the actual replay as I speak, so you'll be able to see that shortly, I'd imagine. 142, 156 was it? Something of that nature. I'm not seeing reports over here, then. But I did see a report during the replay indicating that a light cruiser had been spotted. There's 2 ships there. I mean, we did previously see 2 destroyers in this area. Signal intelligence, good idea. Heavy volume of transmissions detected at Auckland, okay. Heavy volume of transmissions detected at Pearl Harbor. Radio transmissions detected at 194.103. 194.103, that's interesting. Right. 194 was it? That's some way out here, actually. 194. $103. Okay. Don't worry about it, Cal. You didn't miss too much. So we've got a signal intelligence report then indicating radioactivity in this area. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, that is pretty damn good evidence that he's in fact running convoys in this area. And that's fantastic. It's not often that we actually get signal intelligence of this nature either. It's very rare that we do get that. Bounce over Auckland, yeah, that's a good idea. And Pearl Harbor. I wish we could see exactly how much was in there. And I'm gonna call in Discord. I shall just, there we go. Oh, bloody Richard. Right, there we go. I mean, it could be tankers, it could be really anything at this point. But most likely some sort of convoy of some nature. Well, you've got to think about it, like, the US has the magic signal interception. I can't remember exactly what it stands for. Basically, they have code-breaking technology, which is far superior to what we have, but we do have something like that. But that's interesting to know about. Auckland is not showing anything. Well, now to 0. Okay, well, let's take a look over here then. Oh, thank you very much for that lost in Casa. Much appreciated, my dude. Right, we are seeing detection over here. I'm pretty damn sure I saw a report of aircraft over here, actually. So we'll go ahead and just take a look at that. So we're looking for over Luganville here. The fact that he's seeing aircraft, sorry, the fact that he's seeing ships at Luganville, it could prompt him to come north with those carriers. So we're going to bear that one in mind. Really want to get these ships out of this area as quickly as possible. Right, 6 allied ships at 121.50 near Luganville. Oh, that's no good. Right, Task Force 55 detects Allied level bomber at 121.50 near Luganville. Okay. So he's running some sort of reconnaissance then. I could start to run the combat patrol of the Kaifer Freeze to try and shoot down the presumable naval search, perhaps? I need to reevaluate what I'm doing with these guys. Their fatigue's low, which is good news. They are gaining experience as well, which is good news. Only a little bit, but that's not bad. Good news is we're not losing anything. Okay, so we have gained some experience in the last month as well. Okay. Right, you need to unload ASAP. At least I do have a light cruiser here to potentially use. I could have a light cruiser load up troops to take these islands. But with carriers nearby, I'm not entirely sure how much I want to consider using something like a light cruiser. She's worth 24 points, I'd rather not lose her. I'd rather use something smaller, really. These guys, I think they'll be ready tomorrow. I would have preferred them to have been ready to move today, but unfortunately not. We do have additional submarines in the area, so at least I can use these submarines for local defense. I had meant to send her back. I don't think there's, interesting enough, he's running reconnaissance over here at Numair as well. So just have the 84th Naval Guard in position here at the moment. Where's the rest of these 61st? Lafoa, Talawa, Luganville. I don't think he's come north with the carriers as of yet. I don't know if he's moved out from Wellington with the carriers as of yet. It'll take us some time to figure out what's going on exactly. I'm somewhat interested to potentially use the submarines to look down this area, but we do have areas of the Pacific that we do need to cover soon, very soon actually. If we are to launch Archidipotai into the, well, into the waters of the US. Past Pearl Harbor, basically. Okay. So, he's moving additional forces over there, which is to be expected. There's some time away from crossing here, but at least once they do cross, then we're in jungle rough terrain, which is even better there. I'm not too bothered about the fate of the Thai forces there. I may be able to take Mulmin. I doubt that one though. There's a major road there. I think we're currently... we should be on the major road now. Oh, there we go, we finally arrived. I don't have any information about that unit there, but I think we should be able to handle it. It might be worthwhile holding on just a little bit, recover some... Then again, actually, I don't think it's a terribly large unit. I think we'll go for a deliberate attack. See how that goes. Okay, we do have the 22nd Air Flotilla now in position, which is excellent. Oh, this one over here. Yeah, potentially so. A deliberate attack should be fine, then. Okay. Right, so he has moved into Chikyang. It doesn't look like he is moving here at the moment in time. But the Yun is still open to us, which is fantastic. Now, that's not too bad for us. It would have been nice to have been able to take Chikyang as well, but we do have more options here as well. We have the actual raiding forces in a better position. I was kind of hoping that he'd leave Sian ungarrisoned. Okay, so he's got 116,000 troops there, more or less. 17 over here. We don't have Ryu. Not yet. Right, he's moved here. That's okay, we'll go deal with that. We'll take a look in a moment. Wow, that's only a secondary road. Okay, that's not exactly great, but we'll go deal with that. So he has 17 units here, then. Still 13 units. So he actually does have a fair old garrison there, so that looks to be the force officer in the north, but he still has 17 units there. That's interesting. Well, this is it. I mean, supply is going to be an issue there, but I think we will... I'm actually quite happy. I mean, Nanyang, sorry, 82,000. I can take that. Especially as it's on the clear terrain. We should be able to deal with that one quite nicely. Let's see. Ship availability there. Yeah. Right, so we'll have Yunyo in 20 days. Unryu, however you pronounce it, she's not going to arrive until the 7th of August 1944. Some years before that. Not seeing anything around Changsha, still seeing 30 units there, still seeing 5 units here, 4 units here. Obviously there is another unit here, and there was a unit here. These guys aren't moving. I don't see any movement in China at the moment. So let's see, actually. Yeah, clear terrain there. What's the roads like? Yeah, major road there. That's fantastic. Right, we'll have this unit in a shock attack. But the good news is we'll have finally dealt with that Chinese unit, and I could potentially have these guys move up over here, or potentially move down here. But let's take a look at the road network to the side. It'd take a long time to march towards Wankao. I'd probably be better off marching them north, really. Right, the heavy cruisers should be over here, and indeed they are. Yep, rearmed and ready to go. So we had it previously at 16,000 yards. I suppose we might as well allow the escorts to bombard too. There we go, so we'll bombard there once again tomorrow. "52 fires today. Actually, how are we doing at Singapore? He does have less troops than I actually expected at Singapore, which is interesting. Right, these forces are moving out, these regiments. So they'll arrive... I mean, what's the road network like? Okay, so it is a major road. We should potentially arrive tomorrow then. Which would be good then, be good to have additional forces. How are we looking with these guys then? Yeah, the Imperial Guard Division's recovering some AV. They've been much reduced in strength, but they'll recover that. It's good to see that they are recovering here. And the plan on these divisions is fantastic. That's definitely going to help us out. Right. I do have this force over here, which is going to be very useful. Undetected as well, which is fantastic news. He is building up the amount of fighters and bombers he has over here. I think I'm going to have to hit the airfield at Palembang, really. Fatigue is building up though, so I do need to bear that one in mind. I don't think I can use these guys right now. I think I'll run 70% and 30% combat air patrol over the base. Yeah, we had to shock attack last turn. I think it was last turn, yeah. We crossed the causeway at Singapore last turn. And obviously because you are crossing over water, you are shock attacking there. Yeah, the Imperial Guard Division got the worst of it, really. But she'll recover. I mean, we have 223 disabled squads there. We'll be able to recover those. The other ones didn't come off too badly, though. It was definitely the Imperial Guard Division that took the brunt of the actual attack there, really. The good news is we do have the 21st Division. Yep, the 21st Division's unloading now. So we'll have a 5th Division down there shortly. Yeah, we're sending another regiment as well. And we do have a independent engineer regiment I could send down that way too. Though these are just engineer... we do have some IGA in there. Okay, we'll have them sent down to Johor. Yeah. We do have more engineers on the way. Well, we can't rest due to them being in a combat zone. I had considered bringing them over to Johor Bahru, but we'll wait until we have additional forces. They can still regain strength, even with the enemy there. So it's not too bad, really. Well, engineers, they help to reduce the fortifications, which is why we didn't reduce the fortifications when we attacked here at Singapore. Thank you very much, Fair Monkey. Much appreciated. Okay, first engineers there. Right, yep, they need to get down there. IJ engineers. Yeah, get these guys down there too. Right, I've got 4 Naval Guard units to work with here. Looking forward to making them earn their keep. So there's no element of the 21st Division ashore yet. Right. These guys will come in handy though. I'm gonna have them on, well, dock for the time being, disband. Right, they're currently unloading. The good news is this is going to bring down a lot of additional supply to Malaya. Now, what I'm going to do here... transfer these guys out. I'd like to try and have them dock if possible at all. Yeah, really is a good track. Right, let's see. Yeah, that's not going to be too easy. But what I'll do then is I'll grab the ones that I can. I'll go with the largest ones, actually. Right. 8,200 tons, Jesus. Might be able to manage that with these two. Yeah, they can dock, and they can unload. Argentina Maru's a pretty big, beefy ship. She could do with that damage being repaired, though, at some point in the near future. Yep, the tanks are loaded and on their way now. It's going to take them some time to arrive, but I think it will ultimately be worth it. Right, additional fuel over here as well. Yep, they're headed for Singkawang. They're heading out here to go and pick up the additional forces from the Philippines. Where are my actual cruisers? Oh yes, they're heading up to... where are they? They're around here somewhere refueling. I did send them to refuel, I'm pretty damn sure. Where the heck are they? I'm trying to best that one. How the hell did I miss that? It's right in front of me and I missed that one. I don't even know how I managed that. Healy. Okay. This fuel over here deeper than I could make use of. Have them based down there. I'm going to alter that actual pattern of movement here. I want them to move further away. There we go. Jolo. I'm trying to think where that actually is now. Jolo, sorry. Oh, right, yeah, over here, isn't it? Yeah, I thought he was somewhere inside. Yeah, we'll be taking these in the near future. I mean, once I actually get the cruisers and destroyers in the area, we take care of those, like, little ships in the area. I should have done that a long time ago, to be fair. But once we clear them out of the way, I'll start landing troops. I've got naval guard at Kotobaru that I can make use of. So that's going to be very handy then. We should be able to take quite a few islands of this area. I may even have them potentially, whoops. Might have them actually join the battle down here at Kagayan. At Mindanao. The ones at Kagayan. They're not bad. They've got plenty of supply. They have been recovering. It's the 16th Division, sorry, 16th Infantry Regiment there, still with a fair bit of fatigue and disruption. But it is going down. They do have a complete table equipment. Morale's not bad. I think the issue is it's just he's got a decent number of troops over here. Right. Looks like they've been able to unload, which is excellent news. What I'm going to do is have it sent back over here to Naga. I can pick up some remaining troops over there. Okay. No longer complain about the lack of garrison there at Davao. Yep. I'm going to be looking to try and pick up the actual armor here from the Philippines and have it sent to Canton as well, actually. Okay. So we do have the 104th Division in position now. What I can do is obviously have these forces rest and train. '68th Independent Forces over here then. Right, 38th Division. It's going to take them some time to arrive, but that's... It's manageable. Hong Kong. Right, there's the actual tanks. Let's see, do I actually have a... We do have a main road from Hong Kong, so I could potentially have them unload in Hong Kong right now. But then again, it probably is quicker just to have them sent to Canton to unload. Though I'll have to double check that one. Is it... What's the actual size of the port at Canton? The Cantonese port is size 5. We have a size 8 at Hong Kong. It might be quicker to actually have them unload over here, actually. At least then they can begin unloading immediately. I can have them dock for damn sure. I suppose we'll have them unload over here then. Move to Canton. I don't think there's much in it, is there? But I'll go with the first hunch then, and we'll go to Cantonment. Oh yeah. Even on the main road, I thought they moved 60 on the main road. But anyhow, we'll have them move out to Canton then. It's one of those where it really doesn't make a difference there. Well, at least not that much of a difference. Ooh, okay, gotta be a little bit precious with that. 2 days instead of 1, yeah. Okay, just have them move to Canton then. The artillery units have moved out. There we go. They're on their way to Singapore. It's going to take them some time to arrive, but they'll eventually get there. Cruiser mine line on its way to go repair at Hong Kong. I was hoping that more of these guys would have been ready by now. One more tomorrow, then we'll have the rest of them shortly. I am tempted to actually have the G3M2 squadron move out of here, actually. Considering the fact that we do have the light cruisers and destroyers on the way, I don't think they're really required. I might have them moved out somewhere else that they could actually be of more use. Especially considering the fact that we may soon be seeing American carriers. I've got forces I can do, Vanbo. I think it's more than required. Van is one of these things of it's going to take some days to get down here, so I think I'd rather have them moving now, actually. I could probably take these guys, actually. These Ki-46. Yeah, these guys will do quite good. The 8th Sentai. I'll have them dispatched over here to Manila, but then again, do I need 8? I don't think we need 8. I'm not going to bombard Bataan with the land units there. I could, but I don't think it's worthwhile. Hey there, Vulcan. Good to have you, my dude. Yeah, I know, right. I didn't expect to have a turn either, to be fair. Okay, now we do have these guys here too. They are free to move, which is good. I might have them shifted down here to Clark and actually have them used against them. Right. We'll have these guys move out. Yeah. It's not a very action-powered one, so don't worry about that. You've not missed tremendously, not missed tremendous amounts. Okay, so they can run the naval search in the area. I'll get those G3s moving out then. Oh, the D3A1 valves, yeah. That'd be quite nice. The ones over here at Takao. Probably take them some time to get over there, but not too long. What's the maximum range I can transfer? 17, okay. I do have support at Naga, so we'll have them move out to Naga. Won't take them too long, and then we can have them sent over to Truckven. They'll come in actually very handy as well. Okay. Tankers over here then. How much are you worth? 19 points, yeah. Not worth sending you out there into the Dutch East Indies. These guys are unloading similar, yeah, story there. Too much value there. Right, you're loading troops. I'll go take that island. Right, you're almost finished unloading. I do have you guys here as well. So the good news is we do have fuel being unloaded into Babardwar. That's excellent. So we'll be able to actually have the Mini-Kitabatai probably head up here to Baldoab and refuel. The one that's wrong? No. We only had about 25 troops, remember. We do have more AV now, which is good. I could probably manage it with that, yeah. Yeah, that's plenty of troops there. That should be sufficient. Alright, that should be sufficient to take that. Right, they're going to be in Namala tomorrow. Yokosuka first, so this is additional paratroopers. It's going to be an interesting one to see where we can use the actual paratroopers in Java. Okay, they're loading. And not take them too long as they're docked, which is good news. I'll be landing over here tomorrow. Yeah, the battleships are on their way back to go rearm, so that's good news. Okay. The excellent thing is I can actually move the bombers around here once again, so that's really good. What I will do is set all the aircraft actually just rest for the time being. I mean, you're fine actually, but we'll see. They're actually not in a bad state. The good news is we do have additional aircraft to draw from the pool, if needs be. Looks like a good number of Zeros were drawn by those at Bangkok, actually. Yeah, they took quite a few there. That's not bad. I do need to make use of that squadron, so I don't particularly mind that, really. Yeah, I don't mind. Dropping the fatigue there. We were at, what, 25 last turn, so that's okay. Right. One more tomorrow, then we'll have the rest in 2 days. So 4-1 fight is 35. Sorry, bombers, 12 auxiliaries. 15,000 troops over here at Rangoon. Is it like an pilot? Let's have a look. And indeed it is. I'll let Infinite have his way there. He's the one who's in charge of the pilot training at the moment. An AMC. That's interesting. So we've seen him being unusually active in this area now. Right, you're still loading then the Chichijima. We do have aviation support down, not a huge amount, but we still, yeah, we've got that naval support there. We'll actually have some AA guns over here. Not exactly huge amounts, but some of them. Engineers as well is going to be very handy. Yeah, 12 SLF squads there. That's no joke, really. Even with just a few of those. Yeah, that naval support would be very nice. Additional supply would be welcomed over here. We still have some on board, so that's good news. Yep, additional submarines moving down into the area. Patrol boat moving in there. I did move these guys. Kinda wished I'd kept them a little bit further back, but that's okay. I'd like to be in a position to be able to move in engineers when we do move into this area. I can't do it yet because I don't want him to actually bombard the airfield. And once he sees the second unit there, he'll probably start hitting the airfield. So we want to try and avoid that one as long as possible. 2 ships. I imagine... I mean, we saw something about a light cruiser. As to whether it was this, maybe. How far away is Wallace Island to Funafuti? I mean, if he was to sprint, he would make it there. But will he do that? I don't particularly think so. He could do that. We should ideally have more detection over here tomorrow then. I'd like to move down additional haste escape force to this area. Right, well, what we're going to do here then, so show all units, enemy task forces. That's friendly, I've clicked. Okay. So seeing those over there, Palmyra. Ship over there. Okay. Yeah, we do need to refuel here pretty desperately. Okay. Well, something just drank up that fuel. I'm going to assume it's probably ships that have just moved into here. So, that's okay. What I'll do is obviously have, well, of course, this force here as well. That's okay, we can have it link up with the other element of the Kidappatai, have it take the fuel from the other ships in the area. Just enough to get them to Bavaldwab, and then I can refuel at Bavaldwab. I don't want to drain all the fuel here. But they've been refueled quite nicely. Takao could probably do with some repairs. That's a good number of destroyers there, though. I'm going to have to see about having these guys upgrade to zeros in the near future. It would be nice to have additional zeros. I can't stand them down completely yet. I could have them on ASW. We do know there's submarines in the area. Moving northwest. Moving southwest. I think there's a second one over here at Kopang. But what I'm going to do here then... Okay, yeah, that's still looking good there. What I'll do is just alter this one a little bit. There we go. I imagine they'll be here tomorrow. But that's fine. I can imagine these guys are pretty much dead in the water. It'll not take too much to get rid of them. This task force, thankfully, is undetected, which is brilliant news. I can imagine his cruiser task force is probably out here somewhere. Okay, undetected. We might get lucky with something out there with the submarines. We'll see about that. Okay. Right, I can load these guys back on board now. Right, verified load. Accept load. Once they're ready, we're going to have them move into Rabal. I'd like to drip feed reinforcements into Buna here, actually. I'm not too particularly fond of all the submarines he has here. He really is going heavy on the submarines here. I really do need to try and punish him for that. The good news is that we actually do not need to move into Buna here. Obviously, it would be nice to move additional supply there. I'd like to move a second unit just to make sure we can secure the port when we do leave it with the actual division. It would be kind of rough if he took it from us. Okay. Okay, that's good news. At least the patrol boats are unloading. It might just have to be through patrol boats so we move forces in, perhaps. I've still got 3,683 here. I imagine it's just a supply migrating around at the moment in time, really. Okay. Not too far away from this hex now. At least on the move to Port Moresby, we'll have a road there. Shame there's not a road here, but it is what it is. Okay. I'll have these guys move out. Jake's over here, okay. Let me just double check that we do have aviation support. We should have aviation support here. Yeah, 142, that's good, man. So what I'll do then is I'll have these Jakes transferred there. We don't have any aviation support over here, but have them, what I'll do then is have them run ASW. Things with the Pete's, they just don't have the bloody range, do they? Right. Do need that fuel there. You're unloaded at the moment, which is good news. I can fix this here then. That's what I'll do then. Yeah, I like that. Alright, what else is docked? Or is it just too big? I think I've been misreading this, haven't I? Ah, it's too big, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I would have preferred her able to be docked, but unfortunately not. I'd really not like to stay here too long, really. At least I do have aircraft over here to protect Luganville, so at least that's something. The more submarines we can get down to this area, the better then, really. Okay, you're unloading. Have you dock up? Time it is allowed. Right, you've just finished? Hello there, Evoken. Well, I mean, MKB was sighted, so I'm starting to think it's actually that. Actually, let's see here. Alright, they're moving. So I'll have these guys move out here anyway. I'm going to use them to take the rest of Celebes. So I'd like to move the 23rd Air Flotilla. What can I do to manage that? Okay, we do have transports that could manage that, but I'd rather not have them all in one. I might prefer a fast transport, actually. Well, the plan here at the moment is we're still trying to get a sense of the situation at large, really. But probably much the same as it was discussed previously, really. The benefit that we have now is hindsight that we gained last turn, so more options are available. Here we go. I might just go for the amphibious movement then. The Aleutian Islands will be coming in the near future, really. I guess I'll take the Ultima room. I should have some APDs. That'll spread out the 23rd. Nice enough. Good news is at least I'll be able to take over some additional supply there. Okay, that's a nice small force. It should be able to do it pretty quickly. It's going to have them load up the 23rd Air Flotilla. Yep, there we go. Right. Now as to how quickly they load up, they might be... have them planned for Sorbayan, I guess. They might be there at Makassar in about 2 days perhaps then in total. Depends really on the speed at which they load and unload, really. Okay. What I'm going to say then is, once we are established at Makassar, it will definitely help us out there in the near future to control the Java Sea. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of movement from the Java area. I think he probably has moved out, but he could move out. He may attempt to move additional forces, but I've not seen anything here for a while. I think he might have learned his lesson after the debacle at Osthaven. We're going to figure out how we're going to land here in the near future. I would like to get something moving. Preferably today or tomorrow, to be honest. I do have the KI-43s over here. Obviously, once we do have the 23rd Air Flotilla over here at Makassar, that's going to give us significantly more aviation support. So, as to whether we begin to load up the division detachment to have it land at Balikpapan. If I was saying that, do I require the division detachment? Am I better off using Naval Guard? I mean, I know the division detachment could do it, definitely do it. And then they'd be able to cross and take Samarinda as well sometime later. I mean, let's take a look at the actual road networks. Well, saying that it is a secondary road, so it's not going to be the quickest march there. Some terrible trails here. Yeah, that is awful, 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 awful. It's a very light garrison. It makes me wonder if is it better to land at Samarinda, take Samarinda, then march over. Probably is better to take Samarinda first due to the lesser amount of defenders. At least we'd have the benefit of... well, then again, even then, we're going to have to land, and if we land at Balapapan, it's only going to be bad at the first landing. Might as well take Balapapan. They're both clear terrain. There's not that many troops there. 36 guns versus 20 guns there. Just depends if there's any coastal defences that we have to watch out for. I think what I will do, though, is I'd take the G3M2 squadron potentially over there at Clark. Now, as to how many we keep down here, I think I'd like to keep a... well, actually saying that, it might be better to use the G3M2s and have them sent down here to Makassar. Well, to Makassar. Or potentially even Kopang. But I'm going to look to keep maybe... I'd say at least one naval bomber squadron in this area. But I think I'd really prefer to have the G4Ms really able to be moved out to this area. That little bit of extra range is quite nice. But then again, saying that, does it actually matter? I don't think it really actually matters, does it? Considering the fact that we'd only be flying out to 12 hexes, 14 hexes at most with the A system 2 zeros. So I don't think it really matters what we use. We do have more G3M2s available in the actual stockpile. So yeah, I think it's one of those where it doesn't particularly matter. But then having the actual G4 M1s, they do have the longer range, therefore they can be transferred out further. Yeah, well, this is it. If he's actually... well, that's a good point, actually. He was using Balapapan previously as a... for the airfield there. We do have 5 out of 10 detection, so I don't think he's running aircraft any longer. He's going to retake that. God damn it. That's what I get for that. Absolute stupidity on my end, man. Absolutely stupid of me there. But that's okay, we'll go retake it. I do have this acid over here, that would be enough, I'd imagine. What's the roads like here? No roads, wow. Okay. I consider the light cruiser's potential to do that. Or I might even have that force head down there. Yokosuka Furnace left. I'll tell you what, we'll have these guys head back to Cuttlebrood. They can go pick up some naval guard. I can have a naval guard unit transferred down here, but I'll use that naval guard to take these bases. I've left this way too long at North Borneo, so we'll go take them. I could use the naval guard unit then to take all of these bases. So yeah, I think that's better then. I think that he'll take the base, but it doesn't really matter. Then I'll just land and retake it. Yeah, this is why the lack of roads isn't a nice thing, really. Actually, that's a question. 5 out of 10 detection. 6 bombers. We were supposed to actually hit the airfields here last turn, but I think it was the weather that saved him over here. Let's see, what's the weather line? Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure I saw a weather report cancelling the raids over here, so that did save him over there at Changtai. But then again, it does make me wonder, because I'm not seeing the aircraft there this turn. It should still show you, yeah, I'm pretty damn sure it still does show you aircraft, even if they are basically damaged, they're still shown. It still shows you the aircraft icon. So I think he might have moved something in and then moved it out. I think that would explain that. Though 5 out of 10 detection, we might have missed it, but it's one of those where it's not that low to miss something like that. Okay. I wish we could see detection levels over our actual troops here, really. Right, let's see. So the divisions have moved out, which is excellent news. So now they begin the long and arduous task of getting over that way. Yeah, it's going to take some time. It's the only issue here with the actual bloody secondary roads. This bloody secondary road. So we've got the one, yeah, so it looks like we've got 2 hectares of secondary road. At least once we do cross over here to Pingxiang, Siang, at least we are moving then on major roads and will make significantly better time. But as far as we can see here then, he is remaining static in China, which is obviously what we want. The longer he remains static, the better, really. I don't know whether he'll have noticed the troops moving out. I don't think so, really. I don't think his intelligence is that good. And I just think it's one of these of, he can take a look at the numbers at Changsha, but there's numbers moving in, there's numbers moving out. Like we just had additional forces move in now. Yeah, 8th Armoured Car Company. The good news is I don't think I need to move out any armour from Changsha, really. Considering we've got 2 armoured regiments, let's see, we have... Yeah, so there's 2 armoured regiments here, the 2nd and the 6th Tank Regiment that's unloaded at the moment. Well, they're going to be unloaded at Canton. So looking at like what, 100 tanks or, well, 100 vehicles per regiment. Not tanks, I wish it was tanks. Yeah, so about 100 vehicles per regiment, give or take. So about 200 vehicles. We'll have additional tanks coming from San Fernando in time. I've got the tank regiments from China on their way, sorry, from Malaya on their way. So that's 1, 2, 3, so that's another 3 tank regiments there. So, we might be able to amass something like 5, 6, potentially 7 tank regiments. It does depend. I'm going to say a conservative estimate is going to be 2 tank regiments, as those are the ones that are already there in the area. So not a tremendous amount of tanks, but obviously the longer we have, the more tanks we can actually assemble there. We're looking to have 2 divisions. I mean, we've got the 104th Division in place. The 38th is going to take some time. Yeah, the guys coming south from Changsha are going to take some time. It's these bloody secondary roads, but at least he's not moving at the moment. I mean, the issue is he has major roads over here, so he can move out pretty quickly if he so wishes to do so. It is interesting that he's moved this unit to Chikyang. It is really where it should have been from the get-go. I mean, it should have had a larger garrison unit there, but that's something to take into consideration. I think he's going to be in a more confident mood in regards to China now. And these guys did take a hit. They haven't lost that much in the way of AV, though. They do need to recover, of course. Yeah, I mean, I do regret the faffing around at Nanning. I think we should have just gone for the deliberate attack twice when we had the opportunity to do so. It was surprising that they held, but it is what it is. I guess bad rolls there, really. Had we had the base at Nanning, would have been good, but I think he probably still would have kicked us out, really. There's a lot of assault value there, has there. But the good news is, those are units that aren't here now. So what's he going to do with them? We're looking at wooded, what's the roads like? God damn, it would be a main road as well. Oh, it's a main road, okay. Oops, no, god no. Okay. So he can march 30 miles per day. He's gonna obviously, well, he's still a few days away from Luchao. Obviously a few days away from the wider China area. Better than nothing there, really. Yeah, I think the Indochina is on its way. It's gonna, the thing that we're waiting for here, really, is just to amass the forces that we need. I may have these forces begin to bombard Wankao once again. Yeah. Let's bring an additional supply down here too. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what he does over here. As to whether he'll move troops elsewhere, I do not know. I really do need to get a more suited garrison here. I think that's what we need to do, is actually, can I actually send things up the river there? Or is it to check that? Is it, let's see, what's the button again? F6, isn't it? Yeah. We do have a port here, so I can manage that. Right. That's 26 AV. How much do I actually need here? 100, wasn't it? Which is actually a fairly large amount of AV in Anchang. But I can manage that. We should be able to find a unit from over here, really. Or from elsewhere across China to have it moved down that way. 59th Division. Still recovering at this moment in time. Oh yeah. One of these units, or really a couple of these units, about 4 of these units would be enough. I'd like to get them moving out there. Right. I do have the 4th Air Division on its way south. I need to figure out where I want them. So we could have the 23rd Air Flotilla move down to Makassar. We've got the Air Division down here at Kopang. It'd be nice to have another air headquarters down there, but do I need it that much? And I don't think so. It could be quite good to have maybe one here, but I don't think it's a very high priority. Especially considering that we have Luganville. I mean, Luganville, it is in a good position. Though saying that, it is only an air flotilla, so it could be worthwhile to have an air division head down here to Luganville. And then have a flotilla down here at New Caledonia. If that's worthwhile or not. I could just use New Caledonia as a spotting base, really. I don't think I'm really going to be using it as an offensive air base as such. The thing is, it's just too close to the Australian mainland. It's close to Fiji, obviously, as is Luganville, but Luganville does have that benefit of the distance here to Australia. So it could be that I could have a air division sent down here to Luganville. Then take the actual air flotilla and potentially have it sent to one of these islands out here, should we need it, or potentially one of these other islands here to further consolidate. I think we'll have to think that one over, actually. It does intrigue me that it's got ships over here. I wouldn't have expected them to be moving ships in that area. And the good news about these guys is I could have them moved up to Gazmata now, if I so wish to do so. We do have ample amounts of aviation support over here. There is supply, which is good news. It's the fact that we can actually use the torpedoes, which is excellent. I could even have them potentially move up over here to Salamula if I wanted to do so. I may do so. I might look to actually bring the Ki-27s, you know. We do have the Ki-27s in this area, or I could potentially look to bring the Ki-43-1Bs, but I might bring some of the Ki-27s from this area and have them transposed over here to Selamoa, perhaps. We have a level 1 airfield. We do have aviation support here provided by the aviation tender. More supply being unloaded, which is good. So that might be worthwhile, actually. I think a detachment to the Ki-27 division, well, squadron could be moved down here to Selamoa. It would give me some combat air patrol to fly escort for the G3M2s if we wanted to do any bombing of the airfield at Moresby. I mean, I would prefer, obviously, something a little bit more advanced, because it is conceivable that he would actually have some pretty decent forces at Moresby. Okay. It does make me wonder then. Is it... Well, frankly, we do have another option. The fact that the Ki-43 is over here at Clark. I did convert a second squadron last turn in the third part episode. So we do have more being converted. 6 out of 8. Well, sorry, 6 and 8 here. 2 and 11 here. So 24 Sentai slowly but surely being turned into the Ki-43 1Cs. No so love and trust. There's another 4 here in the pool. I could begin to move out some Ki-43s now. But what might be worthwhile doing then is potentially having these I think what we might do then is have these Ki-43s move down here to Makassar. I could then have these Ki-43s from Makassar move down this way. So, I think that makes sense, because we don't need them here right now. And I would like to have more numbers. So rather than drip feed them over here, I could actually have a large squadron move. Yeah, so I think then if we had the Ki-43s established in this area, potentially Gazmata, potentially... Well, I'm going to be looking towards aviation support, so potentially Gazmata could be a good idea. Range would be nice. So from Gazmata we could potentially have 12 hexes of range. Which would give us range out to this area here, really. Think about that line. Level 1 airfield though. I could keep the G3M2s over there at Bal. I may have this airfield expanded to a size 2. Do I actually have some damage here? I have some port damage. We haven't got any engineers, unfortunately, so it just makes me a little bit reluctant to base too much over there at Gazmata. It may be that we have the fighters base elsewhere. Ideally where there were some engineers. So Rabaul is looking like the best option at the moment. I mean, Rabaul to Moresby is 11 hexes. I mean, that is pretty damn far. So it might be that we base the fighters at Gazmata or Selamoa, and then have them run escort over. Which is completely doable. I could have the Jakes relocated to Gazmata then to run the naval search, but we'll see about that. I was thinking the off chance that he does send the carriers north, but the thing is, it's going to take him some time to send the carriers north. We would certainly know about that. I think what I'm going to do is, well, it's definitely not as feasible for him to have carriers over here now. I'm significantly down than he would now. Right, the loading has been completed over here. How many troops is that? 131. He's definitely active by Palmyra. Definitely active by Palmyra. I mean, what I'd like to do is have these units reunited. So what I'm going to do then is they're going to head for Lucanville with obviously the intention of heading on to New Caledonia. But what I'll do then is, depending on what happens in the near future, rather than potentially risk one of our... but again, saying that is it worthwhile? We'll see, we'll see. I may have a fast transport take those islands. It's not essential that those islands fall right now. It would be nice to remove that from him, though. Something definitely worth considering, really. Some of these choices are pretty hard to make, and this is it, isn't it, sometimes? Okay. We'll have them head for Luganville. I would like to have these units rebuilt, really. I do have a decent amount of units at Talawa as well, actually. Do I even expand this to level 3 air base? I mean, this is it. As of now, it's one of those where I don't think it's worthwhile. I mean, I'll think that one over, but at the moment, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, this is due to the fact that we roughly know where the American carriers are. How we're going over here? 2 ready, 1 in reserve, and 1 in repair. I may look to actually switch this out, so I might have the Tenno H6K force potentially move to Midway. But the thing is, it is a little bit dangerous because he could come in with a bombardment. I'd rather not lose aircraft. In the near future, we might look towards moving more. Oh, yeah, we only have 8 aviation sports, so it's one of those things we've got to bear in mind. Okay. But there is interesting signs here. The fact that he is significantly more active around Fiji than he has been for some time. Now, I do wonder why he's actually moved ships over there to Wallace Island. I think he might have been expecting us to land there at Wallace Island, which is actually really interesting. He's very much on the ball, and he's very... He's showcasing that he is proactive in that area, which is something that we don't often see him do, really. But he is proactive. And that's not a bad guess. I mean, we might have potentially headed to Wallace Island. So, I don't know, it's interesting. He's very conscious of his landing in that area. I think that's something that we can take note of. But that's something that we can take advantage of as well. Because what we could potentially do then is... Now, something actually to bear in mind, man. He doesn't have detection over here. Doesn't have detection here. None on the base. As far as I can tell, he has no detection in this area. He's not running it, as far as I can see. He's been consistently running it to survive. I mean, is he doing that to train? He's got to be doing that to train, really. But we did see detection on the patrol boats as they did near Pago. There's a lot of things to take into consideration here. I think the only issue with Funafuti at the moment is the fact that it isn't really protected. Like, if he was to come in and bombard here, there's not much I could do about that. I would not like to send any sort of warships to these waters just because it's much too close. You could send it out to greater force and smash it potentially. And what's the range from Luganville to Funafuti? 20 hexes. It could be potentially worthwhile bringing the... either moving an air flotilla over here or moving that air division over there. I think we might want to look towards moving the air flotilla from Luganville. Having the air division move into Luganville and then potentially having the air flotilla move potentially to Funafuti. It would be nice to actually have this area, at least all this area over here, able to be used. Right, there's no airfield over here, unfortunately. That could have a port, but it doesn't appear to have the ability to have airfields. I could look towards using Canton. I mean, Canton's not a bad idea. Well, it's not a bad candidate. The thing is, none of these candidates are exactly brilliant at the moment. But it would be nice to extend the range in which we could actually potentially engage and support our own carriers in this area. But we'll consider that one. There's a lot to be said about that. There might be other bases that have greater need for the air division than the ones down there. Okay. The fatigue level's not bad on them, really. Also, the fatigue on the aircraft is up there. How you doing there, monkey? Yeah, I'm not going to be going too much longer anyhow. I think it's one of these where we need to digest what's actually going on here. Plus, it's 20 to 10 as well, which is much easier, well, much later than I normally do stream, actually. Okay. I had hoped for more attacks over here, but we should see more attacks shortly. Right. We do have our float planes in position over here now. We'll have aviation support here arriving shortly. Hokkaido area weather. Bit of a mixed bag over there. Not too bad. Looks like the weather around Japan itself to the south, around Kyushu, is actually worse than it is over here at Hokkaido. Though, saying that, there is some pretty... some nasty weather over there at Kashiro. Something to bear in mind. What's the weather like down here? Right, storms over Funafuti. Which might be why we don't have as much intelligence as we'd like over here. Storms over Luganville at the moment. Okay. Clearing this area. Storms over the submarines there. I love these little weather graphics. They are fantastic. Okay. So what we're going to do then is I'm going to call the turn here, well the stream at least. And we're going to have a think really about what's happened. It's not been the most eventful turn, so I don't think it's going to be the longest turn really. We do have a lot to consider though, and obviously again the carriers move in. But yeah, we don't have any major upsets. I suppose the only major upset has obviously been in Nanning, but I suppose that one was to be expected. It would have been nice to have held out there, but I suppose this is it. He did go for the shock attack. He does like his shock attacks. I can understand, when he has the overwhelming force, he obviously does love to use his shock attacks, but, oh well. We would not have been able to move out of there in time anyway. Would have been nice to have had Nanning, but, if anything, if it builds his confidence up... Well, yeah, he did well. If it builds his confidence up, that's fine by me. He may potentially leave these forces at Nanning now, which would be very good news. There's obviously a major road here to Lushao, but we'll see how long it would take. Okay. No, we went for a deliberate attack, but obviously we deliberate attacked when he was here, and then obviously he moved in before we actually attacked. So obviously during the night, it seems. Which was unfortunate, otherwise we'd have probably taken the base. But I'm not gonna shed any tears over 2 mixed brigades. They really don't mean that much. Well, a mixed brigade and a mixed regiment. I don't really care that much. If anything, if it makes them overconfident in the area, I'm happy with that one. It's one of those. It's not worth talking about now. I mean, if we were talking about things in last turns, it it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. Okay, how are we doing over here then in terms of AV? So up to 5,000. Obviously, we did move out 3 divisions. So it's hard to really have a good estimate of what our strength is as opposed to what it was as. Not too bad then, really. How are we doing on table equipment? We should be recovering anyway, and it appears that we are. Fatigue and disruption is being recovered at a good rate. Okay. We do have the benefit of additional guns over here. I mean, we could potentially bombard him once again at Changsha in the near future, but I don't think it's worthwhile, so I don't want to reveal the numbers. I could potentially just use the artillery regiments and etc. But again, I just don't think it's really worth that much. We might do, we might consider it. Something to consider, but then again, it's just going to be eaten into the supplies there, really. We'll consider it, I suppose. 877 guns. But yes, is what we're going to call it. So, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope to see you again in the future. I know it's a very last-minute stream announcement, but I hope you guys do not mind. Feels good to be back on the turn. We'll try and get through this one and hopefully have more turns in the weeks to come, which will be quite nice. So I'm going to say a big thank you here. Thank you very much, very optimistic. Good to have you, my dude. So a big thank you to everybody for watching. I shall see you guys next time. So for now, goodbye. Tenno, Heika, Banzai.